psychological. You're already getting physical gains by being in the gym every fucking day. The psychological gain is you just beat a man that kicked your ass when you were a kid. All right, now our confidence is another. So we're doing these building blocks to get to that point, but you can't account for fame. You can't account for attention. You can't account for all this stuff. And you can't account for how your fighter or the athlete or whoever it is going to handle it. And I'm not saying Cheeto didn't handle it great. I can't say he handled it bad. I can't say he just had to handle it.
Yeah.
So he had to handle this new experience, new money, new life, new notoriety, be able to walk where he lived in. He'd been training in Costa Mesa 5-6 years. Now he walks in the mall, the South Coast Plaza, and everybody knows who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
That's a fucking, it's a culture shock in a sense, you're a life shock, so, it definitely, affects the way that, you hear people now, the way you're willing to listen to different people, coaches, myself included, and I'm not saying that that's not the excuse, that was my personal coaching hurdle that I had to have to get through, with certain fighters is trying to understand that, what I'm going to try, how it's going to be harder to get certain things out of somebody like the late start, how I can get his ear 100% to where he's willing to listen to my simple words to help his mechanics to get going faster. And I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but really it's all due to respect and how you feel about yourself, and your insecurities start fucking layering off as well as when you get this fame and you kick ass and you're fighting for a title and you're this and that. You're viewed as a different person. You start thinking about yourself as a different human being. You start thinking about yourself different. You start buying and driving and doing different things. But, you get different types of money. You start buying houses, you're buying cars, you're buying watches, you're buying this, you're buying that, and it's changing the way you think. What for me, it's changing the most important value to fucking Cheeto Vera, and that's a fighter I'm talking to right now, and that's immigrant mentality.
Ooh, I like that.
All right? And that's what made that motherfucker the baddest cocksucker on the planet. That's what made that motherfucker fight for a world title.